It's Monday morning. Your alarm goes off, but your phone feels wrong. No notifications, no buzzing, no messages stacked overnight. You unlock the screen and see it immediately. No signal, no Wi-Fi, nothing. You tell yourself it's a temporary outage. You restart the phone, still nothing. You walk to the window and notice something strange. Your neighbor is standing outside, staring at his phone the same way you are. Confused, silent, waiting, you step outside. People are gathering in the street. Some are laughing nervously, others are already angry. Someone says the towers are down. Someone else says it's a cyber attack. Another says a solar storm hit the satellites. Nobody really knows, because the one thing everyone uses to find answers is gone. By noon, card payments stop working. ATMs refuse withdrawals. Ride apps don't load. Food delivery never arrives. The world hasn't exploded, but the systems that quietly held it together are suddenly dead. By nightfall, the panic doesn't come from explosions or sirens. It comes from silence, no news updates, no maps, no messages to tell you your family is okay. Hospitals switch to backup systems, supermarkets close early, gas stations shut down their pumps. And that's when it hits you. This isn't just the internet being down. This is something much bigger, something most people never prepared for. Imagine this doesn't last an hour or a day. Imagine the internet is gone for 30 days. No Google, no YouTube tutorials, no GPS, no online banking, no social media, no cloud storage. Everything you outsourced, your memory, your navigation, your problem solving, suddenly has to come back to you. And for many people it doesn't. This isn't a science fiction fantasy. Governments openly warn about solar storms, cyber warfare, and infrastructure collapse. Militaries train for it. Emergency planners write reports about it. The only ones not preparing are regular people, because we've been taught to believe the internet is permanent, that it will always be there when we need it. But history shows something very different. Every system humanity builds eventually fails. In the next 20 minutes, we're going to walk through what actually happens when the internet dies for 30 days. Not in theory, but step by step. You'll see what collapses first, why modern humans panic faster than ancient ones, and which forgotten skills suddenly become the difference between comfort and chaos. More importantly, you'll discover the abilities you lost without even noticing, skills your grandparents had, but you don't. This is a survival story. It's an apocalyptic scenario without zombies, without meteors, without nuclear war, just one quiet switch turned off. And by the end of this video, you may realize something uncomfortable. The most dangerous thing about losing the internet isn't the darkness outside. It's the emptiness it reveals inside us. The first 72 hours are not about chaos. They're about denial. People wake up convinced the internet will come back any minute now. Phones are checked every few seconds. Laptops opened and closed. Routers restarted again and again like prayer rituals. Offices wait, schools wait. Governments issue vague statements over radio broadcasts that few people even know how to access anymore. Most humans in modern cities have never lived without instant information, and their brains don't know how to process the absence. By the end of day one, inconvenience turns into anxiety. Navigation apps don't load, and people realize they don't actually know how to get places they visited for years. Ride services vanish. Digital keys don't unlock doors. QR codes become useless squares of ink. On day two, payment systems fail. Cash suddenly matters again, but most people don't carry it. Supermarkets slow to a crawl as registers break down. Shelves empty, not because food is gone, but because systems are. Day three is when fear sets in. Not loud fear, but quiet, creeping fear. Hospitals move to emergency protocols. Fuel stations shut down. News spreads by word of mouth, distorted and exaggerated. People don't trust each other because they can't verify anything. The internet didn't just give answers, it created trust. Without it, every rumor feels possible. Every stranger feels dangerous. And in those first 72 hours, something unsettling becomes clear. We didn't lose a tool. We lost a crutch. One we've been leaning on so long, our mental muscles have quietly wasted away. The longer the internet stays dead, the more obvious the damage becomes. Not to infrastructure, but to the human mind. People realize they don't remember phone numbers anymore. Not even their closest family. Addresses are gone, schedules are gone. Important information lived inside devices, not brains. When the cloud disappeared, it took parts of our identity with it. Navigation is the first skill people mourn. Without GPS, cities turn into mazes. People who have lived in the same place for 10 years still get lost. Paper maps feel alien, almost embarrassing. Memory, once a survival trait, has been outsourced completely. Why remember anything when a search bar does it faster? Except now the search bar is gone. Problem-solving collapses next. People don't know how to fix things without tutorials. Simple mechanical failures feel impossible. A broken appliance becomes a crisis. A generator without instructions becomes useless. The internet trained us to follow steps, not to understand systems. When instructions vanish, confidence vanishes with them. Even communication feels broken. Face-to-face conversation is awkward. Silence feels threatening. People struggle to ask for help without a screen buffering their emotions. Social media taught us to perform connection, not practice it. Now, stripped of filters and feeds, many don't know how to relate to the human standing right in front of them. This is the real revelation. Technology didn't just give us power. It quietly replaced abilities we once needed to survive. And when it disappeared, it exposed how fragile modern intelligence had become. By the second week, society doesn't collapse, it reorganizes. Two groups begin to emerge, not by ideology, but by adaptability. The first group waits. They sit with dead devices, convinced the system will return any moment. They grow angrier each day, more desperate, more dependent. Hope becomes paralysis. The second group adapts, not because they're smarter, but because they're willing to accept reality. They start writing things down. They share information verbally. They form small local networks. Skills suddenly matter more than opinions. The person who can repair a machine becomes valuable. The one who can grow food becomes powerful. Influence shifts away from digital status and toward real-world utility. Money loses its meaning when systems can't verify it. Barter returns. Trust is rebuilt face by face. Communities begin to rely on those who remember how things worked before everything went online. Farmers, electricians, mechanics, nurses, people who never needed Wi-Fi to be useful, become the backbone of survival. Ironically, the loudest voices online are the weakest offline. Influencers fade into irrelevance. Meanwhile, quiet, practical people step into leadership roles without ever asking for permission. The internet once decided who mattered. Now reality does. By week 2, something surprising happens. Panic slows, routines form. Humans remember that survival isn't digital. It's physical, social, and deeply local. And for the first time since the blackout began, some people stop waiting for the internet to save them. By the third week, the world feels older, but not necessarily worse. Handwritten signs replace notifications. Community meetings replace comment sections. People talk longer, listen more carefully, and sleep without blue light burning into their eyes. Attention spans stretch. Time feels slower, heavier, more real. There is still loss, still hardship, still danger, but there is also clarity. Without constant noise, thoughts grow sharper, conversations deepen. People remember how it feels to be present instead of distracted. Some discover they are calmer without endless updates telling them what to fear. And then imagine the internet comes back. Screens light up, messages flood in. Notifications scream for attention. Dopamine hits instantly. The world reconnects in seconds. But something feels wrong. The silence is gone. Focus fractures again. The calm disappears under the weight of infinite information. Some people rush back without hesitation. Others pause. They've tasted something rare, mental independence. They've seen what life looks like when memory, skill, and community matter again. They understand now that the internet isn't evil, but it is powerful enough to erase parts of us if we let it. The real apocalypse was never losing the internet. It was realizing how much of ourselves we handed over to it. And the question that remains isn't whether the internet will fail again, but whether, next time, you'll remember how to live without it. Now imagine the 30th day. The internet comes back without warning. One moment the world is quiet, analog, slow. The next, screens light up like nothing ever happened. Messages pour in, missed calls stack up. Notifications explode across your phone, demanding attention, urgency, emotion. The system didn't ease back in, it slammed the door open. And just like that, the noise returns. At first there is relief. People laugh, celebrate, scroll endlessly as if trying to make up for lost time. News feeds flood with explanations, blame, analysis, fear. Markets restart, apps reboot. The digital world reclaims its territory in hours. But beneath the excitement, something feels different, something uncomfortable. For 30 days, life proved it could exist without constant connection, and that truth can't be unseen. Some people rush back without thinking, others hesitate. They remember what it felt like to wake up without panic, to focus on one task at a time, to talk without checking a screen every few seconds. They remember how their minds felt sharper, how conversations lasted longer, how attention finally belonged to them again. And that's when the real question surfaces, not out of fear, but awareness. The internet didn't just disappear for 30 days. It exposed what it had quietly taken over years. Memory, direction, patience, problem solving, community. These weren't stolen overnight. They were traded away slowly, willingly, for convenience. And convenience never warns you about the cost until the bill is due. This story isn't about rejecting technology or living in the past. It's about balance. It's about realizing that survival doesn't come from faster downloads or smarter algorithms. It comes from human capability. From knowing how to think when answers aren't searchable, from knowing how to move when maps fail, from knowing how to connect when no platform is there to mediate it for you. Because the real danger isn't that the internet might die again. The real danger is that if it does, you might not know who you are without it. So learn one offline skill. Write things down, talk to people. Remember directions. Train your mind to function without a signal. Not because the internet is evil, but because dependence is fragile. The internet is a tool, a powerful one, but tools should never replace the human holding them. And if this 30-day blackout taught us anything, it's this. The real apocalypse isn't losing the internet. It's forgetting how to live without it.